Hope Channel, changing lives.
Ebusiafo enyumere so ye omajo nkomo na hyase da studio high de nkomo egusu di na ya hyase enum hu nkwan kra da eni nti ye ma sese maje ye mfeso aba mo fie mu ni stewardship adisua ye sua na wotwi mu no enyumere so ye toa so osofo obenfo Paul Edusampa aye krado enyumere so boa yen mayate ekwan ye fa so manyankopon insem hira ne ensa aka ni nyina ase ye hyase adwada no ene yesu ye toa so ani sam me ka ne se adesua biara ye besua biara no asemuse bia wo no obetimi e de aba e wo number yi so 0559680066 osofo di nkan e kire bia adesua ni so na afi enu echi ne yebusa ho nsam enyuma ye sofo aye krado sofo majo
ye eja
sofo na ho ye de e de nyame ase sofo enyuma then ye hwe
enumre ye interesting ase the kura we minjin free won samana should I receive this from you
hey answer no bebusa sa asem no
onyame no ana ibisa de odene maswa for the base the kura we I also the bar for it nti minjin free won sam
hey so for bebusa sa question na je say ade na de base if you want questionable
well
wow nti asem anyankopɔ busa no ne ekura we minjana I said you be warrior. The papa friend no.
The papa friend no.
Menja na ma menje.
Menja na. The papa no krampo de o pese o de jipine efri wo ho se ope abrantie no na obe ware no. Ba we de o de ade bi aba onyame nimu de waya ma wo a o hwe kwan se wani beso na wa hye na onyam na wakofa de bi aba. Ene obi sa se de kura wi a we say no ni wa for about the bremi menyin free wonsem
pasa ye no mo ho kwan ani ti ebusiafo ne de mai rade nchen no ene obusa ye ani ti sofo aye krado a obo ayen ani ti adesua no obo ne tofa wi a na afi nya bre ene adaje na afi ye busa mu nsem ani ti ne ekura wi onyankopon se onye ana ye ntie sofo emra one ye fa adesua yi mu
yo me mamu nyina enyina so Yesu no say Christo do ehye e beda nyame asese enanumre wa ma ye ho kwan se ye mra na emetoa dwumadi a ehye ase no eso enumre asem ehu kakra bat esa se wo bible munti odi si a enye ye onyame bisa se so die kurawi minyimfre wo nsemana should I receive this from you Upa na di we ebremi ndi minyi we mfiri wonsa ebehwem na yahwe ni yie na mi ka wo se na ya woda na irade asem a megina so na no na oka se a son honors his father akwada bia ogitum se mi papa nie no ode ani die ma no a servant his master obi so ya akwa wo obi fie no Iwura friend no begina ni nsegu nachi or the need ese emano if then I am the father so gidi pa say me anywhere where is my honor me need you here and if I am a master where is my reverence say many wura any dia wo de mami ewo he ebu a wo de mami ewo he na some way was sign the Diego as it says the Lord of hosts to you onyame na ye kan we akire ye be wi ase be tuma ba se obehu se me na nyame ni me kase ya na se nyamia based on there ye be sua ne no ma me nkaka wadwin se nyame ya adom a ochina eye ahosisi da enne ye yawo ochina eye ahosisi da se obi betimi adi homeda na wadi ne sene bible kira egina na ho sisi da no so endiem se ne yakwakoduru no de by this time madwun yam se waboaboa ho se me be try de masua na hwe ye problem ni o wa loko wadwun me professor bi kan se you have to unlearn in order to learn. Na many Jesus no pa Professor Usu Boating ene kan saa sen Akan ye no a clicky my dream prekumpe Professor Poku Boating sorry ene kan ye wo sabre no ye wo Valley View College ena Akan say ye di asofo ni bi ansa na ye ba school no mu ene ye di adwen a di sofo no saa ro aba betre school no mu ho na ono o lecture obo so nam no nam I saw ni would delete directly na efe kwa na obisa one day say Sampa you have to unlearn in order to learn ne wasua no the other year adwuma no so ba class na pe ade bi asua o fe no to ho ye wadwin say wonnim na ye nkyerɛ na fa compare de wasua no you have to unlearn you ne wo wutrim nyina free ho in order to learn na watimi asua ade we bua me kra anye bi ni because they be an me opinion but they told me baby na matie no raw feel lecturer na presenter bi ho now two we nyina no e ma we mfia de we God decides on the proportion of the tithe nyame na kire say me ntusu dudu no say na ese ode ma me na ono aka say 10% and na maso afọ de ni de wanka because eye wo na wo offer you are offering. And therefore, God cannot tell you, offer me 10%. You're wrong. He cannot do that. So, you can say, offer me 10%, offer me 5% of your offering. Now, any offering, you not done demand. Not just or shall say, manasa. For the answer, they are in Shenipa. And the Mauntu to Sudu dear, or so new na abu moye, need the 10%. Maswa for the no. Jina inshira no de achira jina mfaso no de ama wo no so na mani bi. That's why we're talking about percentage. The God decides on percentage of the tithe, man decides on percentage of the offering. I mean, if you say Saturday we know now you we mother hopa afi there is no offering without tithe. And another the picture we can say Nsabia unhunu ene edi de wanya no ema awo se wamfa amawa anga wo so wonni bribi a wo de kɔ asɔre asafo mai se nyame amfa bribi amawa wo so wonni hwe a wo de kɔ masɔfo ana wo de kɔ ade kora dem wonni hwe. And therefore if God has given you, give a portion of it. That's why we are talking about proportional giving, percentage. Meaning what? By this time, no, another day, eba for preparation. Who could do homeda? But since then, no, unyan decide percentage, you know. Say radish rame na ochwe ye. Me hwe nshira de ama me no a. Me tiny tight 10% na. If you are making me offering so 10% and not 20% and now 5%, na me the amano. We be ma wajai na otwi bia okura offering so wonya sika bia mfiri ba bia bio na be ma wajai because woni nyame be di ni yie e kire numre no obetra se a check ni nyame di ahira wo na wati ontuzu dudu no correct e di ato ye person so fence ni bie to do that na bra maso afọ de no so na no per percentage a wo de be ma because ade no de nti adani percentage ni say the odi ma wo no ma 100%. And the odi ma wo no ka se fa 10% ma me na no ni me chefa e wo adwuma no ayeye no mfaso aba me chefa 10% no ma me. De ma ye wi e na adwuma ayeye kwa me fa so boy so wo anidie bi so wo appreciation bi enonyam bi a obeya eno ni maso afode no eno na afa wu hwe de ye de ama wo no ma yi 10% dada me 5 and me 10 and me 20 and no ye wo de na mfa wo nsan hye wo botom enka say me wo 1 cedi me wo 5 cedi de manya me it should match, it should be in proportion. That's the word there. Why proportion? Proportional or percentage based? Because we have already received the thing. We have already received from the original owner. What the idea no efri ni ho e no se money bi and na wo behwe de odi ma wo no so because untimi ma no de ebro de odi ma wo no nti wo behwe de odi ma wo no so no wayi percentage a office o de bo afode ma no a be hye na no nyam. That's where we are na manya kaze no nze ne se ne wani si di tight akire no a de bia sorry ma menye workshop ba bia ye misa me se ade na ye mfa sika ni bi emu asori dan ade na asori hu akire no na ye nya tight ni bi wo ho na ye de ni nyina koma asofo wo conference aden enra ameka kire o se free enne opa free nra eko no you are doing free so because tight no mra angasa da ho obekaye a enra ye kan Nehemiah chapter 10 verse 38 and Amika say if tithe is for the Levites, why did God charge them to return their years also to the storehouse? And how could I be wadwini at once? Says as of one thing I am being to do bad here. Say levy phone into near the bad here. And then I am so sun share levy phone say Musumu yimu dear. Na mo fan kwa adikura dem. If you say eye Kristo ni bia said ye enyamisu ni bia said ye so gitum say nyame ni obo ade na oyehwese ni manyame ndi say wo ye adwuma wa asori fio wo ye adwuma wo adwuma mu ba bia wo bia no kai hunu say enye obenya afiri mu aba no onyame chefa wo hwe na emi atese no. And the priests, the descendants of Aaron, fatu scream mami, and the priests, the descendants of Aaron, shall be with the Levites. As of for Aaron abusuano, woman na ye kan won wasem say na woman ye Levi for no. When the Levites receive tithe, say Levi for nya tithe no Levi for nya tithe, every Israel for no ha. And the Levites shall bring up 1/10 of the tithes. Levi for no so yi wo mu tithe, every tithe na ye de abre wo mu no, wo mu yi wo mu die mfiri mu. Tie ni ye pa 1/10 a tithe, and the Levites shall bring up 1/10 of the tithe to the house of the Lord, of our God. One word no you say our God, not of their God, but our God. Ye nyina ye nyame asede no no. There say wo mu nso tumi yi tithe, every tithe na ye de atua wo mu ka no. Na mu fa mbre wo nyame no. Now check this. Yes, fa bra na wo years of one day say me years of one ese me mframra na me am yia na me san de akoma hwan. Check his screen no be of a screen. Let us be there. Or see, bring tithe to the store, to the house of our God, to the rooms of the storehouse. Fa call a dino. Ya yesi was at the crowd dino. A hot na yen fast of one of the enco. Yes or yes of one to obey ye di, say as of one AD. The same sorry for any yeno. Your factions in there, you are straight to a soft movie. Obi mizasa say, Debbie. We no say, or soft one of the eno, or no some fan cop. Lay fanning in uncle had the crowd them, yenny debium. Can you imagine this? I'm saying if the Levites are no more 7, say na levy for yet as of Jumanu Bioma. The Lord can reallocate his portion to those who took over ministry from the Levites. No correct. Say na levy for no yet say Jumanu Bioma. Then they fast off for every abusu bi mo and the na de na ye de ma levy for no and now we knew our modwuma no de da so no onyame di be ma won a eye adwuma. That's why pastors are taking nyama me white na dada yen. This a pure biblical teaching. In fact, wo jai tithe yi wasafo yi mu a ebeye me din say ye be hu heaven. Say me suro say meka say won ko but ebeye me din pa say me ye de say ye be hu ho. Now, another test we so me the amount. Here na mu bi num say ai ye vasika no go bodan so ye vasika no go ye say Ghana ha ye wo history pa e bi obi nkama wanted da. Tight and crofo bi ye wan adwin say won di be si asodan. Om di CEO conference intimi mfa nko police station intimi nchew. Ba ne etu wo mo ano ebisi nne no wɔn ankasa enyaeɛ anka wɔn anyɛ ne sa nsɛm sisi papa enti nyame ka asɛm a yɛn nane ani. Now I'm saying tithe is a reward for service. And yet dansie a reward for service, not for church projects. Numbers chapter 18 verse 21. And to the sons of Levi Abusuano, behold, I, God, have given all the tithe. No nyamia ka say yemfa all the tithe in mass as of one no. Meaning why na maka say yemfa bi nko se hwe nkosi aso dan ana yemfa bi nko prapra baby da yemfa nko pe dan ma wo mo. Can I do that? I cannot. Even the conference president cannot. So also is a union and the division, the general conference presidents and leadership. We cannot divert. That's a strong word. We cannot divert or say, yemfa all the tithe. I have given all the tithe in Israel for an inheritance in return for their service. In return for their service which they perform, the service of the tent of meetings. Yekoshia edwuma omu ye ene se yesom me omu som ye nti ade no yemfa ma wo me na me se yemfa ma wo asem na asa untimi mfa nko ye hwe asa na me pese o share we nsu. It is a reward for service and cannot be used for church buildings and others. Eyo nyame akatua odima asofo na yanka babia o Bible mu say yemfa nko na yemfa nko ye projects. Number 2, it is solely for the Levites or the priests, and that is why it can't be diverted. Yentimi nane ani emfa say the komo obi say bodin kire won a yemfa ma won. So I am ra undane na enye me ka say samra no every fields in the all the leadership in the fields because the local church receive tithe from members na mramu no yese wo mfa nko adekura dem, so the money is taken to the storehouse, the conference. Ebedru ho wia conference no edi behwe asofo aketua na ade na wo yi a tithe of tithe send a share levy for no na they are call higher organization no edru ho pa obehu say problems aba na conference bi say me dey minya ye no ansome enti meet me fa the ese dey call union and division and general conference meet me fa nko because me feel the hokra dey minya ye no ansome osofo ene owi efo nsa na wahwe wo nsa efise wo se wo de no nso ene wadwuma yefo nti wo mfa nko na asori ba no yekuani na wo ka se nyame mra se ono de kwan bia so asuno ansuno oyi ni ntisu dudu mra no se chese ono na nadwe nya adwuma opa ana ono na ono de nyame mra hye no na nyewo etire na mi ka ne nra se so sofo obi twini hwini mu nwi no de ntisu dudu ba na e ba se wo so wo de call higher organization no a conference fako na ma wadwuma yefo no hunu se ya tosini mi kai bra yeti Midwest Ghana conference na mi wo sunyan no na yesi asese union no nya dwetere bi 24 million cities and then a bejama 240 cedi and then 24 million but say asofo ni nyina sacrifice yenko ka stewardship yenye say na yetimi anya seska no yesi se ba se conference no yi na tight amabiuma as say church ni na fotuo bi a ebetimi atu adwuma yefo ka emse 3 months or 6 months ene ko fa sa 24 million sa bre na nyeska ketwa 1986-87 ye bre papa za na yenye seska no me ka kire wo se edu ba bi no na ene adwuma yefo no ka se enuanom obi anti aseɛ ne ehwan akatua no so samra akatua no hwehwɛ kura uhu opepem nso so ne yɛsate so biom but ene nyame adom conference na ba ememu aba bebree now yes obema wo members wo asofo do ye adwuma wo conference no ene unions no woni wo mutenase ne ehunu danger se wo sa de enimu obidia a odi bre radio nya wo dia ena ono na ho kire nyina mu no odi aba president hwe finance form treasurer finance form na yemfa wo mu ewo soro no de eno nko eye tithe of tithe na se ye di kona nso yen a ye kofi a yankoda yakohwe asafoma no abompa ya akire komo ama wo na wo adwuma ye a nyame adwuma bekoso enuanom etwa esika no fanu etwa nimu na etwa akire enti wo blame church members na nsan omumfa won dudu mba no blame wo hu se wo so kakra na edi no kure no watena so na sisan wadwen. Now having said this, enuanom recap no me debesi ha asofo no nye tight nko a ena nyame hye won sa ya wo mu yi bra wo manya won akatua no every Israel for no aya wo mu yi tight enye no nko a offering no nso hwe de nyame kan ye. So you shall also present an offering to the Lord. Nye tight nko a maka tight de na osofo mvambra no. You shall also present an offering to the Lord from your tithe. Can you hear that? Pastors, can you hear that? Which you receive from the sons of Israel, and from it you shall give the Lord's offering to Aaron the priest. And can say minti ne yede ba ye nti my tithe ye o si offering no so fa wo shame pastor fa wo shame because eye nyina na mra no hye. Verse 29 me won Numbers 18 28 and 29 it say of all your gift sometimes achede ba o munka no kure achede ba all the gifts you shall offer up every heave offering due to the Lord from all the best of them, the consecrated part of them. Offering na eba no events achede ahodo a eba apart from waketua no eba untimi nka say ma eba o me na no nra na me ka enkransa me just say sometimes me hwe bayere na e di aba me si da kro bi me ti hwa me hwe say tractor bi ba mission house eba tractor ifri he eba ya alode bro ema na bro ifri he a yesi asafoma na wo bonte no omo ye afuo bi ewo omo ehonom na omo ye se afuo we de ye osofo de me kan no crash afuo no manko minimum pose afuo bi wo ba bi ye be yigu ho ye hwane aburoi bag nwotwe 8 bags osofo no de ni nyina aye wo hafa. Can you imagine this? Unfa bi mo bi unfa bi nko asori enko ye offering unya hwe ngwa wa fadi officers ana edi nyame adwuma eye ni bre patenemi ka kire say nye tight nko na Bible no say yes yi offering. Well, it didn't come to say no tithe, no offering. See, na we hu asem na ye ka na ya start program. No tithe, no offering. Nyame ma wo income. Yi so tithe. We are no way you offering. Nti we it didn't come to see after the tithe is set apart. After enya before, enya later. But after the tithe na ye number 1. Income be a beka unsa no tithe na ye number 1. Let gifts and offerings be apportioned. Let be a word apportion no hweni ye. Gina de wanya free nyame ho no so. That's why a percentage is needed. As God has prospered nyame de ababa fu. Ube yi no afena wo wiere mu say minimum treasurer bi bra na wan si di dada ba ko no wo ho no. Obema osika na ofise bi atare ho nti otumi ye ne say ya no wahu for who I say bi tare ho na ebi a ohu na ye na emwa because yi tight no kane we are now I share offerings no. But the recap no see her. Nyame asem ni, should I receive this from you? So that text we a big question. Na ezefo ana ya safui baby ama offering enye no nyam wo ya sori mu Malachi. Problem what Malachi who say why the demand for tithe and not tithe and offerings in Malachi 3:10. Yeah, no. So come Malachi chapter 3 baby I can't say onipa befumu onyankopon fa se na mo fum me fe ya. Verse 8 no say na mo ka say die mu na ye fum wo e no nyame bo two things so in tithe and offering one zududu any maswa for die mu afeoba Malachi chapter 3 verse 10 na osimum fa zududu no nyina mra adekura dem asafo batrapai officer ye ka say zududu no ye mfa mra no nti en na hia nyame na papa no se wo wia me woniema mienu na de baako ba na baako no fa wo na so nye kromfo. That's why I say we can hear two things combined, tithe and offering. Nti wo de baako ba wo da so ye kromfo e say wo di mienu no eba but why hunu wo ha in the whole of chapter 3 of Malachi no na offering ni ho e ba ko pese ne e wo fun me fa e ye ntududu ni maso afo de anka hwe biom wo ho e na obeka say for tithe ni nyina abra just for manufo say offering de optional de menya bia but offering no e na kanfo frɛ no maso afo de mimi krom nkanfo say no womo afole you lift yourself up and then pejawo e ko tena adehia tena na ne wo ye emwa it lifts you up. Now the entire abasa ni say some say the offering is inclusive in the demand. Ebi say mo fa suzuru nyina amra no offering no so hye ho eno eni ho sa wo na wadwen. Ebi no so say maybe that if so why did God specify that we are robbing him in both tithe and offering when he knows we can combine? So it's not there any okra. The text makes many feel that the tithe is more important to be a who poso be tithe than the offering. Now offering in the upper no way be. They catch us say obenya problem. Because Malachi no one thing I say. The book of Malachi has already dealt with the offering in chapter 1. Ebiti yenyina. Sa chapter 1 na nyame share that chire de ntia sa odi offering ba. One famba on shiraw. E ho na now kan nya chapter 3. Me hu say ezi sofo bia ezi asafo ba e ko to chapter 1 yi e di promote tithe and offering da. Yenyina ya dwen ye say chapter 3 no. The whole of chapter 1 deals with the offering. And so oba tithe no or chapter 3. Now me can no crechire one. Bible mu de misua ye nyina minya how kese bi wo maame bi ho. Na maame no manfa me baba bia ntoro me recommending ni din mo bia so mfa saidi no nto ne baba da. In fact mame no se oti asase we su na ke bia me ne be aka because mame no ya de ma ne sheme eya me ya besi ne me hunu ba time bia obetimi aye sa de no. I was shocked. Eya na say ya de suemu ene nyame mame hu. Why that? Nka maame no de oye nsu ami sabi num da nka me hu. Because ni trimu ya tene opedi na tie. Eye din bia hu maame Rebecca. In fact, me wo yaw die pa me ti sa din no a because de ye me nwanwa ni se obi a wawo ntafo wonyem wo mo bosome nkron. And now one after the other. Na Israel mamre chere se oba berima kan oba kan a oye berima and odi wa ade se wu a ono di wa ade into Israel no first born be kaya bra ye free Egypt no. The biggest punishment they ma Pharaoh ma Israel for call and he said woman ma kind bia be me bia wi. First born bia wi. No this year nyansa say insana eni ne die sie no ontimi nyina nti o ma Israel for no nko. First born onu nana nti be me bia Brema be ayere nyim na owo a me wa ka ma muti word bi na minim say minti kasa ni ye nti na etisa but sometimes obi wo na ye kokosra and say onyade so wa wonipa na masere kakra kromo azana muka no wa wonipa enti so owo ba de a na ndi asem foforo min ka say owo ba onye nipa ohwe na wa nkokotumi but that's exactly what they do. Because the firstborn is so important to them. Beloved, and you know mutiemi. Mami enimpa se ni bapeni eni Esau. Na kitu ano na ye Jacob. Mika Jacob dia mampena sem kura nso da. Kwadwofo nkofo mo nya hwe de bi ofunjade. Se nunti na nani mami pena sem na I don't know. From the beginning I didn't see any record. I just akwadai eni ku adwuma ho. Ni nua Esau ya na hwe ni papa sa ebrebi ekomunti ubeka kire no se wanfa panindie na mame a aduane no kra me ma Esau kan se ne makoye adwuma ma abusua ne nyina ekom na ekumi na se panindie na pa fine na mame bi ndi na manwu. Look at this struggle, gentlemen. Mami we mami fa test ntu wona hwe ade be se ohwe na anya na sesem o le hwe ni ye. When Isaac was sold, the brother Isaac ya akokra no, and his eyes were so weak that he could no longer see, he called for Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son, here I am." And he answered. Then he said, "Behold, now I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now then, get your weapons, your quiver and bow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me." Papa na friend ni bapeni. Mpenifo no sometimes ombe wu a omuhu o, ba wo munka. Ombe hu a omuwu. But I womunka. But we dey friend ni ba Esau. And no say, "Minimu da mewu o na manyini, I am old." Enti ko pe enambi na beye aduane kakra ma me na minni me wia na mahiraw. Se ne owu no ba na makwa akọhome. Abrante yi edimreka etisi nwuram. Asema ye me ye ne nyina ha na efrase. Verse 5. Now Rebekah was listening as Isaac spoke to his son Esau. Mami we akotem pumemu. Ada eye ukuraba na ye ne kasa na na se wa wo yemba. No tempumemu ho. Oti asem no wieye no verse 6 no na ye so frɛ. Mami kai. So Rebekah spoke to Jacob, her son. Ono so akofrɛ ne ba Jacob, saying, "Indeed, I heard your father speak to Esau, your brother, saying, 'Bring me game and make savory food for me, that I may eat it and bless you in the presence of the Lord before my death.'" Mate, verse 8. "Now, my son, listen carefully and do what I tell you." Mami, adai. Akwadai wa ye odi emboni be na odi aye o. Waka che ni nua kitwa se, me be ma instruction ye ne emeka bia. Number 1, ura odwambuo no mu, don't go to the bush. Say ne papa kan no. Wo de odwambuo mu ha ya chidwan no ba ko na kum no ntentem. Akwa no konwuram, obefiri kwaye mbeba na ye aduan na wie. Na ye ne ntentem. Na me ma wo fa aduan no nkoma wo papa. No nyi hira no, no fa hira wo. Ansa na obewu awawu. Ntafo ye wo mu nyina adakro. Ma me wu na onyim mu wo nyenu nyina ho. Boni ben abrante di aye o. Na ninu na ka je mami metimi aye but me papa be chime because me brother no ne hu onwi me de me hu tron sesibire nti ye be chime na ni mami aka chen se ye kumu odwan no a ye di ne hu nwi no ebeye wonsa verse 8 verse 11 Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, but my brother Esau is a hairy man. O ma me say mane how ye kumu dwan no ye beyi ne hu nwi no minum say ne hu wonwi ye beyi na da kata wonsa ba wo papa wo ade yi ukọ nanim a na obiza say eye wo hwan a ka say eye wo Esau no hawa fa wonsa no kire no osomu a hu nipa kro obekun say nwi wo hu na ya gi nshira no mami why this wickedness. Verse 13 Abraham say mami no ka say my son let the curse okay tell mami say mami me brother beti asem we obebom dua mamawu tin eni mami ka verse 13 my son let the curse fall on me maduabo no meto me so just do what I say obebo odua omo odua na dua na embe ka me erade maduabo no megu mapampam na mi mewu na wagi san hira no hey wow bo the same day asamu mi ka say nyam ya na me boa. Then verse 15 Rebecca took the best clothes because Anthony catches a mommy me brother no ni sent nyepe we mu say enter for there enti me papa be chime I say no Rebecca say verse 15 me call ni wardrobe no mu dem akoyi na atade otahye ni hu sent wom ndu papa be hu say ye ono. Then Rebecca took the best cloth of Esau call ni wardrobe mu bro nam kwaye mu pen nam abrani papa no call ni wardrobe no mu koyi the best ko nyame na make the best clothes of Esau her older son and on the dress say Jacob Jacob ni okwa akoji obi nhira okoya na kura duane no di si ho o si daddy me ma ba o. Verse 18 Isaac beside straight, which of my sons are you? Me manu mienu no emu ne ehene wo. Verse 19 ni maami aka hye na no dada osi onka say I am Esau your firstborn me na maba no o papa san bisa no biom say hey Esau adiwe dey enwanwa o how did you find it so quickly then na wakunya abua no kum no sesia sa how did you find it so quickly my son now a year no say obeditro wo nyamedi mu nso or say the Lord your God gave me success erade wo nyankopon no o ma me nyankunimdie ono akochi abua no mantam no baabi ni ma me jan no so na me kun no a me didi mrika ebaaye. Isaac bu anyo so enti Isaac catch and say the voice verse 21 the voice is Jacob's voice but the hands are like the hands of Esau. Labana timi adi tetia who said Debbie and sanwa odi kire me no eno de me who say eye Esau nsa but ani no a meeting no say ni de me ana me mba ne mo Jacob na e kasai 80 verse 27 Branami ihade as Jacob went up na Isaac saw ni mu eno kissing no and he kissed him. Isaac smelled the fragrance of his cloth. With that he blessed him. O papa atade papa no yade o atade no hwe no say atade so ayi me ba na ma ye ono a na na mi hira no no ma ni butu ye Yehu anhira. You want Maquine me and to baby a quinda. So to amuna a so to negotiate ansu. Radinya Kania or Wenim. Mawa sifo enye here for da. And now woman young qua will be mine subium. Radinya will say, Radinya will say, Radinya will say, and femo be a dear da. RadimaNcrophone moon and Rambe fem and through her. And she don't mean to me canina. Or should I need Nina? My name is Rebecca Tempuma Motia. But ye Nina, ye no. And the cherry be a honor name petty crano. Ni cherry be. Verse 33. Esau came after and introduced himself. Daddy, I'm here. Then Isaac trembled exceedingly. Wow, my, and we shall say, why near or see me Esau? Ow! Uniana Bajin shredding in Nara. Ow! Me who never be brave me kai, but me near me the baby. Uniana Bajin shrano. And Okasa numpo, and guys on none in the Hunko sooner, no fan chair. But always observe and daddy a bianca mammy. I said there being shrapa de minibi. The aka no me. I branded him say beer, papa no back can be kakra e de agoniso. No good 2 years. Me bay ube bre pa was so. Ube ye juma. Now so nya home faso. Beye nkwa asifo beye nkwa obesi udan na nyame adwire ye keka se bebre gu ne so ne so keka boni be na mame obeye aye usinsa eno sorry ye ne Rebecca ye yini na mam me story we sometimes me can na yaudie no asan batise na ade ni siye. But say me any wonti na nyame yes ade we edi uko malakaya ena nyame be kire ode nti ode nkwada mienu a ye wo wom nyina adakori ejina ho ma me ne o very painful hwe unta nkan ndi unhwe ho Malachi chapter 1 verse 2 and 3. I have loved you, here, my dog pa. I have loved you, says the Lord. Nyame na ekan o se me dog pa. But you ask, now Ubisa, how have you loved me? I Ubisa say, eye den na me dog. Wunya hu se me dog ho. O ka se wo mfaso che wo nuanu nti na ene, wa be nipa kase wo nkran ha. E wo kumase ho. Ana wa ye nipa. Chen wunuanu mu binum a wo mu gugu egu ekura ho a wo mu broka so nipa kese chen wo mama mi say a question bi was not Esau focus screen count was not Esau Jacob's brother nyame bisa santa fo no wo mu asem de esi ye na nyame ono anyame no ba be ka kire wo no was not Esau Jacob's brother. The Lord says, yet I love Jacob me din tafo gina ho ye wo mu nyina the same day ena me pesa me kireo de odi na ho din be ye adwuma nyame nhira nka ho ene de odi na ho din ne nyame nhira be ye adwuma de obenya nkoso nti na me din kwala mienu no wo on the same day no eye mfato ho nti wonti menti de punish Esau no se na be ya ye be hunu de nyame nhira hwe ezifo ye nche wonche bi onyame nhira na manipa ye odifo we put there say nyanchia onyame nhira na manipa ye de ben odifo na obre dwuma anya de emfa bi nka ho ha na sa test ni free was not Esau Jacob's brother na wo munwe ni nyina fi yefunu ba ko mu na mu mfre busuya ba ko mu na mu mfri maame ba ko papa ba ko nanso meme do Jacob and I'm metani Esau verse 3 but Esau I have hate matani sa brantie no na me de kirewa de keke and I have turned his mountains into a wasteland na ne kwaye ni ne mbipo so na ye dua de ye no madane na sere me nyame na maye ne saa and left his inheritance to the desert of jackals mama sakramani mua tese na sase bia no me di mua kogu o dua de na wo ma se ni nyina me na me ye na saa because no di na ho de na ye family screen. I'm still there. Verse 4. Even though Edom has said, here nyame ka sem o si Edom no ye Esau asifo and nyame say, even though Edom has said, we have been impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Onyame apeche yen nanso ye besa akwa akochichire ye kuro no biom wama ye kuro na dane amanfon ye bekwa akochichire biom. That says the Lord of hosts. Onyame na ekasai, they may build, but I will throw it down. O mesen sidano o musi wi a mesen dwire gu ho me na me kasai adenti they shall be called the territory of wickedness. Sane ebeya odi na ho den a nhyiranka ho ebebu ne bra na yahwe Jacob nso hwe Jacob to me sinsen di alaba en person sisi no osinsen di colors itu emwadi didakemu emwani nyina wo colors no e ma Jacob. That is the nhyira ye ka ho asem enye obra adwuma eti ohyira Jacob ankasa e na obaako no de ogya no so mfa na ho de nye adwuma se na ebeya na wo behu se wo de ho ba urade na odi na asem no ye adwuma na ohyira wo na oni wo bom ye adwuma chense wo de wa ho den ebeye na owie a waka se me na me de ma ho den aye hwe Deuteronomy chapter 8 verse 17 also hwe na wanka no wakoma mu se ma ho den ni me nsa den na amamanya me ho na mo kan Awurade onyankopon ona ma wa ho den a wo de aye ne wa ye nei. Wow, tisa nyame nhira mom na sisa de no na nye wa ho den a otimi de ye bribi na fe nyame ka sa wie no me ka say the love of God and his blessings make the difference. Enya wa ho den. From the story it was obvious that the one God loves flourished, but the one he hates struggled with life with his own strength. Because after using the two sons to demonstrate the effect of his love to his children, he posed this question. A son, a dinejani, a servant, his master. If me a jar, me a jar. Where is my honor? And if I am a master, where is my reverence? Says the Lord of hosts. Yet you say, in what way have we despised you? You offer defiled food on my altar. Who be born for dear? Ewo ma for the mochia so. Sabre na ye moa, ena ye sika o. Sabre na ye moa, ena ye sika. Oso di aboa. What did them and they bought for their mommy? But you say, in what way have we defiled you? By saying the table of the Lord is contemptible. Won't find it mama for the hour with the breme and now for the mucha. Won't find it mammy. Now verse 8. And when you offer the blind abua and nearbo as a sacrifice, sometimes with this cano basse and then a radima for the near. Yehu kura na se ye twa wodin free nkwanwoma no sika atetie sika ehu akum sika yehu ne ye de ye o se no na wo de ba for de ye koka o se ai ye de be ko bank. Is it not evil? Nyame bisa nya boni ana. And when you offer the lame and the sick aboa wadi dem ene aboa ya afo no, is it not evil enya boni? Sabre na ye mwa o ene eyesika. Offer it then to your governor. Fakoma Kufuado Jubilee House. Will he be pleased with you, Nyami Bisau? Nenibeji Wana, will he accept you favorably? Nenibeji hu ama obebi partner or Jubilee House ana. Says the Lord of hosts. Eradine eka say, osimi buefu papa. Because niemu ye ne nye. Niema ya mawi. Na sika odi asem rob Musa Masidanie. We are Bonia Yendi, Shirana Media Shirawono, or Donna Media Don, who name we are. And I would treat me say, you also say, On what? If I to scream, Minister, you also say, on what awareness? And there, or how grand a media got to me, who's we, some ni, not they be a tithe, not they be a offering. You also say, oh, what awareness. And you snare at the now who says a lot of us, and you bring the stolen. Abua, who says sometimes, who sorry, or China here, 1 year, who were here, obey you, remember that. The offering bowl no back, not to her. Hey, shall who here, one friend or two in Chambadonia, once it be my mean to collection upon. Where a free yammy, a chrono, dear, oh, Scana, would you know, dear, and now yammy this round, Jananshira, the actual also, and I would you be the too. Sometimes your ma once in a while you say anyone will be no more. I have a mujidisha one tasso. I mean, Modimbia, and Peso be a police for an America, but the sanity is okay. The American say, Mimbo be a dim, but no what you know, na offering no chance to do another tomb, so Sika. What Brian Yaminum says came through fear and through a jumum and fringe out the actual one. Who person all be your soon fancy no shrawana. And then I out here is I know better. He said, near Yamikai and 1 fine year Juma. Now the Okaya a shame, Cassipani 13, and you bring the stolen, the lame, and the sick. Thus you bring an offering. Quite of us about for DNA. Oh, you know, say, should I accept this from your hand? Says the Lord. Nyamina Eka say. Be the last one out to screen. The one found by me international. Where? Wrong motivation while giving an offering may be very risky to the spiritual life of the steward. The motivation for giving an offering should be of far more importance to the worshipper than the mere support of funding the church to meet its financial obligation. And Jessica Mfama Ezia sorry no, say asafunu dika, asafunu here project. Chia no sem maswa for the emerade no nyina so nhira no krakra nie check we councils on Stewardship page 199. It were better not to give ayese umva hwe nto ayu anum at all than to give grudgingly. Say na be ya be ti asafunu na epiepia ho di asafu enye ntwama o ye ntweska ma asafu ba so ntua enye nyamesum no. For if we impart of our means when we have not the spirit of giving, spirit to give freely, we mock God. Ye di nyame ho fel, ye di ne ho fel. And they will test Amidija Okweni, Luke 12:48. For everyone, as I follow nyame ni mo bia we shira no odem ho. Nti ye mama so afọ de check obi ade. For everyone, nti wanka some will say everyone to whom much is given. The ye nimu de ye de amano no. Say drum maswa for the no from him much will be required. Sani pan ye say obey ye the sumbo e the amerade, and to whom much has been committed. Near ye pia bebre amano no. Of him they will ask the more. Ono na rade you kwan say ye the share no nyam na fama me na maye osa nyam nhyira. And na ya che but ne aka bia no no say o de beba ma ye de awie nyam nhyira ye nyina. Amen. Amen.
Pastor, that's a pa nyami enshao. And inti additional call. Ni cry onyankopon enyi ana. Obekoswa de wase musa no about 0559680066. Pastor?
Yes.
That's a pa. Additional mother hopa.
This one that was a pa.
Every cover producer my bi account. Inti you have a question so for ebi banra me sha see free ho and na dey ne do so ntimi de me dey ne to nchen I say enra wo kan say 75% bi wo ho a ye dey tua asofo ma school fees na na say musa ne say asofo ma no we asofo ada ne ye dey say sika ne chomu fees
say the papa nya adwuma ni papa ye si mani nko ye adwuma wa abontin na onye adwuma wa so dem ho na ye dey tight sika betua ne ka na akwada no a oko school ni aye provision wa tight na munya obisika eyende na ye di behwe osofo no sanka osofo ye brufu anaso duane koko a kaniba pass school na obekọ a ka sori na betu ama no enu ntina na asafo na ye san hihye no Say near the I understand say the school fees in the bar. As I saw for nso ehun kem. Nti obeyi ni tight is cano 25%. Na ya son so 75. Near the atua fees na ma no. No anko bobusia e ma ogina platform so preacher. Nipa na abegina kire o say so for di mika. Esa na ya mfani di amanyame ni dase.
So for me to say o ka ebre o say me pon ifiada. Me so say sa etimu biom ebre be na me pon.
Ebre esa wo pon ni say homeda no ye mfa nya adwuma. Ena ezie ni bia ka so nim homeda bre hyase a na onka no kore. Hyase ewitoye. Then me go to look quotation for some time no. Hyase bra ewia na akoto. Sometimes I check in metro or internet no so I can't just say ne ewia better 2 minutes to 6. I'm for check it nti ebroche me ye wo Sweden. Krobi di omio na ewia nto summer time. We are near the check. Okay. Ebit me aka kire na ewia da ha ese ade asa na monkofi. Nja canvassing yenko. We did it. Nti ha de nyame aye adom. Ewia no to a wo hu se ato. Adwuma ye biri nasa. Enu nti sabre no a ewia na ato no. Mrs. White any Bible ni nyina say all the hours of the Sabbath no is as important as any other hour. Enu nti say who does who adwuma 7, 8, 9 you have eaten into the Sabbath some 3 hours. Income a obenya wo ho no wodi kofra with tight na say. That's the most painful thing because yes if for tight ni nyina and the time we die nyame kan say nya adwuma osimiti hairdressing me na me yes salon no di me ye nipa mienu iti wodi wo musika no so tight e fresh kanu a nyame kan say enyo adwuma wakoye adwuma tight no onyi odi ko eden na wanye a obeda bie nhyira na ma enti mama yempontem before the 6 me ka say so be ye kra na wa adwuma nka Friday no by 2-3 o'clock no we free ho no wet me adrufie na wakosisi wo ama homeda no ba utinemu na homeda no beto a de wo ye bia no ebe ma wanya negative results.
Okay. So for no tithe no offering no me de pa na say you know lose offering na him fa ne bem
ye ncheda ni lose offering wo ye system no mu lose offering no a ye friend lose offering say no sika no ye si fa share envelope mu fa tithe share baby a ye blue no fa offering share baby a ye red no na fa betu ayiwa no mu sabre bi a obi e maami anani papa wi oba ba ye na ase asore samu envelope a wo kan ono oni bi enti oba no ndi okura ni sika ye kan se ye mfa for the bonu bra odi ni sika no abetu ayiwa no mu ena na ye friend no lose offering na eno no kura no esamba ba ye combine offering because ye boa the treasurer for no gigi deacon for no gigi offering ni wia any tight na offering no sika bia enche envelope no deacon for muntie sika nangasa ya gigi ye na deacon for dia asore no ye deacon for asore Acts chapter 6 verse 2 to 4 asore no deacon for asore nti deacon for no wo me treasury for no kan sika na any envelope no mu no wo kan mbom ye kan wia deacon no entie sika no ma treasurer no nye receipt. That's the loose offering. The war envelope no mu no so ye yi a say rep of the deacon e wo hobby no ye sure say ye yi ni nyina e da na kwam. These are all the instructions. Okay. The loose offering bia ni ho no ani ni any for envelope mu.
So for ho kwan say obi school ana
Mendiasie so
go private school
ono akotini school where adwumadin we adwumadin we osofodie na 24/7 obi aframe me that way here but interesting around 11 o'clock makochinia me babeda no I ring me I say pastor me say yes I say me na mafre wo no obo ni dia na me hu say minimo no aden I say me ka say mafre o say me ntimi na me ka say mafre pastor o say wuntimi na me say aden o say be 2 months ni de bia o say wabre de bia obeda o say wabre pastor I didn't have me car on film or bedu fear pet, but who said, well, no, I could jarena, who did I could jarena better. Nam so away, or so no, that one. Mr. Cratchy, Fafo no man. Cratch, what the hell are they? No, I said, say, Pastor, and Fino. Mr. Mammy Fino say, me bas fears is here. I must not go share my tad, dear. Number 2 car, me call Fio, me call ya, and pa, or Fio, and pa, and I'm in my techniques kakra and say we be na putting off na me see mun chance yes here na mun mommy amane
pastor what the family should say rusty what
say me family me we ya me coffee me na kwa kakra me do fie me just me phone na bring pastor bacha me dase na me say bibi ya okay o see pastor me dase pa no na sabri we uti school mu na o chira we na wanya kwa adwuma no ya den nti mama enjoy side no
okay so for we the answer make am ma nominating committee pen obi a on fa ne title mba esese ye man adwuma bi di
enti me say no church bia ma hweso omunim se nominating committee tena sa menya interest say me tena mu bebre me jama church na say omunye ba me the list be fit treasury be ba din ni ho ba numbers na wo ho number bia obi hu say ya circle no ye man adwuma anye because you checking the din or treasury no or ye tiase wu na nya madwen bible no man no e first asafo no nhihye say the ontua title onye nyame ni onye ni se nyame ni obo ade onye ni se nyame na ebo no ne niema a ohwe so no ndo afa bibia se ne dia se nipa no ma ye nyije ne so ntimi man adwuma anye nti be hu no ya yi first reading ba na omu di machi na mesre si kofa wa yi bra na ya na wa jeje wo ho na ni guase poto and so that's what we do.
Okay. So for asompenifo ne asofo na ye adwuma wachim pa se nyankopon na aka na asofo penifo adwuma mu ye ye mpesike kakra ma
do omu nya adwuma no mra na ni sofo no no meji 100%. We share that ball level abusuano pastor and I make say you need this eska we achi dodo wo ko hye wadwuma mu a memre da na wa be ye kakra e bia ukura na wa be ye kakra we asi ye no 24/7 o se meye wo so se meye adwuma na maboa afi wo be ya wo pese ye tua oka se eto de bia elders pe sa aketua ni bi ba ye ma won bia masma se ko ye we bra e be ma TNT kakra so but we can't pay them.
Cannot. Elders appreciation and the
we cannot pay them. We need to appreciate them. That's right.
Okay. So for me, who say a sophony be a juma apart from a sort of hesson, it be so tradi. And no, you did too much.
Well, interesting. Say, Uko tradi. Tis a soldier for a yanya was of Dima or Muya soldier, yes, of we. And our teacher for a year or more years of we. The air is a Bosumino Swan, or teacher Ketiano. What the baby, I saw no.
Okay.
Now, so no, the software secretary. I thought if you are near, yeah, because we was a teacher, the near Befu, as of for the year phone, but to pursue a flow passed on tea. I saw the banner by you wake up.
Okay. So for loan, Nasa baby. Maybe say, Bianani Pana and previous one. Or say, loan, Nasemono. Pese mi hu se me ko gi loan na me ye investment ana me ko to car commercial car tight no I was say sales bia ba me yi tight fi mu ana
loan no wa ko gi no prepaid sika enya wo sika no bank dia na ya adamfo bi na loan nti wa ko fem nya wo dia wo ko fem so de be de be ye adwuma ndu de akoto car wo de ye adwuma na mfaso ba so a na only nyame ache na wo chefa 90% na ebeka no na odi bia kotua loan no se yatene bank dadade a ene say bosumi no so na ukoji wa katua na se akatua no so atia bisa hu se mankoji loan na nka makatua no be yesen ti na wa run no app se ne na atia wonyi loan no na wa nyame di ama na je wo di no fa bi na yayi ene ye de atua loan no month.
Pasa me de nanka me de tight ne ba ye me ya pa nenso adesua na otwi mu aboa me esan se me wo masofo bia me fie kra wonim ho me na makra wonim me dwuma me ye kra wonim nanso na wo twa me ate ase se me nwene se me chia me de tight no eba ade kwa dem aye nyankropon dia ti me da ase nyame enhira wo pa
me da ase
afi de di ho se so for 10% tight no me pese me bi ka ho me nyane dey
ye adwuma bebrebe so enne no income no enya fix e vary the emphasis say adwuma no wo yi tight no kuremu a next month die no e be kese a chen this month the following month be kese more and the hwe ade no bebre na ye confused but o fa Yesu enu mu asema e straightforward Yesu say owura odifo bi tu kwan and of friend in mami ensa and o ma ba kon talent enum mboa na eska and o ma ba kon biensa na ba kon ye one and na the man no wine no okotutu from the share ho de onya enum no bebu akonta se wanya enum aka ho enya enum no na eye eyi no problem because enum no de onyame ni wura na edi man no but the abeda so no enu ntina na man no mo akwapa no kwafo no de onya miensa nya 6 miensa na abeda so no oye mo akwapa no kwafo de onya capital no koji no bank no ekotutu from the share ho no ye ba ye na da so ye de share from no a yes we ni pa boni pa so nim se mi twa wo ba bia a me nnua ye mi boaboa no wo ba bia me bibi angu empitin ye no aden na wan fasika yi ankomma sika sisafo nka me ba ye obenya bi account scanner ye useless that's what it is.
Okay, so for Matthias here pass no tight. No of me. I sure say pastor one here we be enchia o.
Fine greetings.
Stewardship. No tight. No offering. And I say me de me tight and me offering aba. Na busume sunye na me de buy. Nenso na otwi bia ne aka no. Wo say me use my adwene say me kwa asori bia me de we beko.
Eno ni baby a problem no wo no. Enne no manya income. Manyesika say free market tuam say free boja bi ameye and na me can say tight no any offering nyina wo cut off date 6 working days ni wia ebi mbeka ho biom ni aka ye nhyiamu a wo ne awrade ko hia na wabu akonta a kire no na ne die a ode ewo mu no na ode na ade ama no enti meni nyame ekohia memreda efiera ya bua konta wie ma hu se erade aboa me nti me tight na echi no mema offering another 10% and now 15 and now 5% matie wie di aka no a manfa nye offering no ewo de medi koye okay say next week me ba sorry na income bia my me nukura me ni nyame entemu me nukura income bia my a me ko fa offering foforo wo he ba o kan say obekọ akọfa wodie no bi de na e car wo ho no ebi na de abeye offering why because o pesa of man no ehu say we ye no kwafo if you say obi e de ma wo so tipo no ho e the chance na be do e fa bibi antum so you want to please the congregation is that not na o mu hu say wo so wa yi bi ama but de na wo ye no ekire say sika no a last week odi baaye no nanka ye ma wo kwan pa wa kuma mu a kanye sa na odi be manyame kasa na odi baa this week nanka odi be ka ho na osu say bia na bribi asi na hiaska na sa bro odi nyina akoma nyame nti we will reserve no na sa bribi si na aye ya na wa use ekire lack of faith in God because osis odi baa obehira and I'm no creme the SMD manu bia me yi me tight. I don't know tight in the one man of 5% and the following week with the 5 in Zwaba. Enti my dream who pass already offering no. Then I say for proportion no to no. Set up a proportion. It be already member of 5% offering. Anytime member tight. Member 10% offering. Anytime be a member tight. Not just no be guide and no ma won chiche scanum. ɛna sɛ wonim sɛ wobɛtumi ama no 10 series a ɛma no 5 anaa 8 nɛ na ɔkyena wode 2 akɔka ho fa naadeɛ bring all the word there no all no yɛ controversy pa fa ni nyinaa bra wosi da bi me de bi ato ama next week na sɛ nyame o this car rough wode ni nyinaa ama no na next week obesu ha ti wati bi ato obesu na ode ama no ɛnyɛ ni kwan so.
Pastor, the last one
that's
eduani asɛe aniema a yɛde bɔ afɔre a asɛe in this context we can say sika nti sika ayɛ dɛ
me angasa no madwin yɛ me sɛ adeɛ pa ma preserve sɛ me de kɔma nyame no ɛsɛ sɛ hu twa te sɛ abranti a waho abaya bi ɔdɔ no a ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkyerɛ no sɛ ɔno nso wɔ bi di sika a ɔde ma na ya wo check o mboana tɛ ɔkɔ bank ɔsɛ moma me new ones na me de kɔyɛ adeɛ ma adeɛ no ehu ntwa na Awurade hu sɛ sometimes no ukɔhwɛ baabi a yɛkan sika pa treasury ne yɛka asafo baabi ɛna yi sika wɔ esi yɛmfa ma nyame a ne ɔbɛka ne sɛ Awurade hu no mmɔbɔ because wode bɛma nyame ansa na treasury afɔ de akɔ bank asɛ nyame bisa sɛ deɛ kora wei menye deɛ me ɔbɔ adeɛ deɛ mayɛ wei deɛ ɔde brɛ me nti menye mfiri wo nsɛm a very painful event and you know my nsakra emoye
nti aha na asɛm no wɔ no die ekura mi nti nyame ngi ana ɛsɔ nyame ani sɛ me de ade bebrɛ na na sɔfo enyumre yɛda ase pa nyame enhyiraw ɛne nti sɔfo benfo Paul Edu Sampa na kane ohwe stewardship and strategy plan so I ne ohwe family ministry so na yɛ adom a we bia adesua no ani de akyerɛ yɛ no sɔfo nyame adom akina ɛde ne yɛhwɛ
nyame yɛ adom na sɛ ɔkyena ade akyi a ebisi asɔre dan
wow
ebisi asɔre dan sɛ onim ɛsesa asɔre dan yɛ number 1 priority ma 7-day Adventists because yɛn ko an yɛ wɔ commander ɔse memre da no yɛn fa nhyianhyia mu kronkron na nhyianhyia mu kronkron no ada ne yɛfrɛ no kronkron because Awurade bɛba hɔ bi na sɛ Awurade bɛba hɔ bi na ɔsi yɛ asafo ba wasi dan ba akokuma ase wasi ba akɔ akyere nsua wasi ba akɔ sei na baabi a wone wonya mehia ɛhɔ ni time akina no yɛ waso
all right aso da na yɛhya asese yesi be 20 years be 30 years
yɛwie da
afi die o si ewi aso da na ɛkwan bɛɛ so na yɛbɛfa so aso da na yɛbɛsi ewie nyame adom akina 8 ekosi 9 yɛbɛhyia wɔ efidie so na afi yɛadwene saa nsɛm yi meka wɔ sɛ nyame adom a homeda ebe Northern Ghana Union Conference Hope TV afɔrebɔ no bɛba so ɛne nti boa ho yɛwɔ akina pew ɛne nti fisika ne hyɛ envelope mu na afi nyame yɛ adom abɔ mpaye na sɛ nyankopɔn nsɛm nhyira ɛne adom yɛkɔ asɔ dan mu a na afi yɛde afɔre no aba ma afoforɔ so enya Hope TV ho mfasoɔ ɛne nti nwumre yi nyame nhyira wo nyame nka ho na nya ne nsɛm nhyira nyinaa homeda ebe a homeda ebesie enya sonko ɛsen homeda biara onyame nka yɛ ho na ɔma de panche me ene osofo be kwabena oben amedi dwuma yi hu chia me onyame mai echina good night.